Hello today. So yesterday I formatted a whole lot of murals, and I think that there's some sequencing here that is very interesting in terms of Aotearoa's placement in the global structure of the world. I think there's some geological, tectonic, but also storyboard, pictorial, there is a painting language going on here. It's also geological. I've been working on a kind of intuitive energy, picking up on our region, maybe translating between worlds even, the globalised, frenzied pop meltdown. I subsume things. Detritus. I am making formal art, but it's accessing both a regional Pacific identity, but also it's actually quite formal work for its. These are all separate panels, you see. I'm making, it's not a project. These can be it's not a game. I've been doing this for a long time, but these are the new ones, and I'm just sort of trying to work out what works and what doesn't. But when it comes, it feels like breaking news. It feels like I'm a reporter in my own process, and I have this sort of urgency of trying to get it across, and there's this isolation of the studio in a process, and there's a beer bottle, moon crater with pyramid on. I can't help but sort of feel like I'm doing something of significance that isn't about me, and it's not about my little career. I want this to be in the public domain. I want to show this as a Pacific painter. I think there's something sort of integral and honest about it that defies our sort of European bourgeois sentiment. I mean, we're terribly affected people. I'm white, I'm a colonial, I came here. We all came here as immigrants. Our whole region has been colonialised and Christianified, and capitalism, and I mean all the problems your country's had, I understand. I'm talking about great loss, great upheaval, and it's not my personal James world of angst, it's the world, it's out there. Some of us are receivers. I see myself as a translator. At the same time, I'm also working on myself in the personal. So these become homages to basically disappearing cultures. You're talking about migrant cultures that use the stars as navigation. We're often refugees from their own brutal races. There's a natural elemental mysticism that goes with this. These are pictures, they are representational, but they're also abstract totems. I haven't quite decided if haven't decided if they're individuals or they should be met. Isn't that wonderful? The writing from someone in the paint shop is still left on. Yeah, I find it quite hard to find audience in New Zealand amongst, you know, like I've already expressed, some of the correct people, and I know what I'm doing is alongside some of the people in my painting, the language, references, you know, I send away things. It's this awkward position of sort of being able to tune into something in the strange cauldron that is Dunedin. This place is a magnetic energy portal of some sort. It's quite dark, it's very heavy, there's a gravity here, but it's also connected to something else. I find I really like these two. Yeah, my area is called Koputai, that means womb of the ocean, and I take that quite seriously and literally, and I feel like sort of I-gestate things here. I'm not saying all these panel pieces here work, but I think there are relationships between this as a walk-along series, or there could be very fine diptychs that come out. I'm just really intrigued by this sort of language of painting, the subsuming of literal material. Like this is an old piece of broken ceramic electricity conduit, but also like the evolution of my own lamp buttons and a ram stick. I have a lot of ram sticks all through here from dump, and you know, what a wonderful metaphor for information, and you know, they become little city structures, but they're probably encrusted with porn and tax documents and all the crap of modernity, and there's pins and nuts and bolts, and just love what happens to the surface there. A piece of stuff you find on the beach. I mean, I'm not taking the dump and sticking it in the gallery. I'm making art. But it's found object. It's my memory. I allude and use hair and fabric. We have this medieval culture in New Zealand where we still go boar hunting. We cut things up with knives. Working class people do. I mean, hunters. The back blocks, I go there quite a lot. You might run into more German tourists than you do, locals. But it's this. We still have this sort of primal thing going on. Pretty postcard, but yeah, I just want art to sort of be of the genuine, but I'd really like to get it to the world too, because I feel like sort of there's a really small, little small thing here, and it protects and nurtures, but so anyway, like all I can do is show you. I've got something in the art fair, in Auckland Art Fair. It's I'm just looking for a sort of wider context to, and like, because I've made much bigger works than these. It's just, this is the most, current kind of, and then I'll keep working on these. Like, there's a lot of tidying up to do of some of the rough edges and the bits that might come off and all that. I mean, I've got to walk between those sort of ownership worlds and archival. It's quite hard just to express yourself fully. Although I have done a good job of that through the shows and catalogues. If you have a look at some of the catalogues I put on this memory stick as well, you'll see the kind of... But, when I do shows, I get poets and musicians, and, I try and make it sort of a cultural thing, as a community thing. But then I'm walking between that sort of dealer art world and stuff too, so... you often, I can't please everyone, and I'm also sort of this administrator. just, yeah, I don't know. Just hoping that maybe someone from outside the circle will be able to recognise. Because, you know, fuck man, you know, with nuclear meltdowns, nukes going off over in Australia desert testing, they lied to us, you know, Muriwa Atoll. Now we got the Japanese fucking meltdown thing, and it's like, you know, where the world's kind of unconscious, and, you know, we're the gateway to the Antarctic too. That's one of the few bastions of, yeah, you know, that's the globalised frontier of next generation industrial capitalism, governmental kind of control power energy thing, and you know, damn it, you know, I'm making work that talks about some of that, you know, I'm trying to take a stand, and like, you know, my own people ignore me, and all I do is give my heart, and I'm not ignored. You know, sorry, I get shows. It's just, I don't know what you have to do, you know, to get a response from a proposal, perhaps. But yeah, keep working. It seems to be about language and class, and knowing how to talk to the gatekeepers, which I do this. This is me, you know, I'm an artist. I know what I'm doing. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong. If I'm brave, I'll turn up to your talk and I'll give you this. I was in America, and I saw some documentaries on the Zapatistas, and what that was about. It made me weep. I met a black man who put his chain in a big bank edifice with Maya Angelou poems around it. You know, I told him about my brother hanging himself in this psychiatric ward, and he told me about his grandson that died, but his ancestor was slave, a long time ago. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe normal people can make a difference. You know, maybe normal people can make a difference to the power structures on the whole. I'm not sure. Democracy. Maybe it just takes thousands of years. All we can do is sort of process our own stuff, I suppose, and try and elevate ourselves and be humble. It's a great sort of attachment and illusion with being an artist. Grandiosity, and also just doing your work. It's the micro and the macro, and the projection of the internal to the politicised outside. It's maddening. You know, I get very attached and lost and very manic, and I've been very dark in the past. And I think the truth. Oh, anyway, I'm getting all existential and philosophical. But hey, look, if you've come this far, thanks for looking.